Hello there, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to the FSL Wild Rift Open. We're here for day two of even more action. But before we get into that, of course, we want to talk a bit about our sponsors. We are supported by Yahoo, and this is, of course, presented by Intel as well. So today we have the quarterfinals, the semifinals, as well as the finals brought for your viewing pleasure. Of course, and I am Gerard Esquivatis Peters, and I'm joined by Glitchshocks, and we're going to be your casters for today. So today, first off, we have the quarterfinals, and we're going to be taking a look at the match of Nexplay Tempest going up against RTZ Underank ATHENA. And you can just see the brackets here right now. So these teams have both won two best of three series that were played yesterday. So Nexplay Tempest won both of their series 2-0, and RTZ Underank ATHENA won the first round 2-1, and the second round 2-0. So definitely very excited to see what these teams will bring to the table. Any expectations for today?
I think most notably would be next play Tempest Chubby, right? I think yesterday we saw like her performance, especially on the more aggressive AD carries like Kaisa and Draven, right? It's really a standout performance that I think she's one of the main carries that we should be paying more attention to, especially for powerhouse that is next play.
That's absolutely right. And just in case you guys weren't tuned in yesterday, next player Chabi and Gia, they had the most kills and assists in another recent tournament, the Iron Solari tournament, I believe. And so they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Especially yesterday when we watched Next Play Tempest, to put it nicely, demolished Arden Esports, doing a phenomenal performance on both the Kaisa and the Draven on Chabi. And I believe Gia played Jenna both rounds. But of course, the bans are in. And although we didn't watch RTZ Underrank ATHENA, we took a look at their match history and the champions that they picked, and they have 100% win ratio on Oriana, and that's been banned out by Next Play Tempest, as well as the Ziggs.
So RTZ here going for the Lux and the Corki ban. I think interestingly enough, a lot of emphasis placed on the control mages here. Galio going to be first picked. Um, actually interesting because yesterday we didn't see a lot of high priority on the Galio, right? So maybe it is something that teams with more experience are looking towards to pick up for themselves. Right, so we do see the Galio being picked up instantly, followed by the Gragas and the Kaisa. The Kaisa being one of those champions that we saw being contested a lot yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. I believe yesterday we only saw one Galio, and that was in the top lane,
Yeah,
and it was
it
not
was
a
not the
it
best.
was not the best, yeah. But I think I cannot remember if it worked out or not. But hey, hopefully today we're gonna see a more I guess more impact on the Galio picks because it is such a strong pick. Even though it was tuned down a little, I believe it's still really good.
Following the Galio is the Wukong and the Akali, already looking a lot like a sort of all-in dive composition, right? Of course, having the Jarvan there would be good for the Galio. The Jarvan Galio combination is something that's known, universally throughout League of Legends. But the Jarvan here are going to be picked up by RTZ, and we saw Chubby hovering the Draven earlier on, but I think she decided maybe Ezreal and the Braum is the better pick for the team composition. The Ezreal providing a lot of that long range.
Or maybe
Oh,
the
maybe
Zaya.
not.
You could pick up the Zaya, and yeah, it will do so. Just looking for a lot of that AoE team fight power instead of the long range. Over on the side of RTZ ATHENA,
Oh,
they
the
look like
Seraphine.
they are picking up a kind of combo of their own with the Seraphine as well as the Jarvan.
Right. I think yesterday they did win a game as well with this exact combination, right? The Jarvan and the Seraphine. Um, I think this overall is a pretty even team fighting composition, but it's a little bit awkward, right? Because they are picking the Seraphine into the Braum. So Braum is one of those champions that can block the Seraphine ultimate.
Yep.
So I think it's a little bit awkward, right? But I think RTZ they do come into the game with a much simpler team composition compared to next players.
Yeah, and again, we talk about RTZ. We took a look at their match history, as I said just now, and they've basically won all these games where they were able to pick up these essential team fight ultimates like Seraphine, like Oriana, or Jarvan, or Malphite, and they were able to take those games and win with them. So I would say that they are playing a composition that they are comfortable with. over on the side of Nexplay, it's something a little different, I guess. I don't think the Xayah was played by them yesterday. It was more of a Kai'Sa as well as Driven, but hey, bringing something new to the table, always good.
I think next play's composition is kind of awkward, right? Because there are a lot of different. Oh, hold on. Level 1 invade.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk in here and get Vision and Prio over the jungle. It's
Oh.
like they're just leaving their Wukong. Oh, they're just gonna walk away from that one.
Alright, I guess. Oh, RTZ looking to be playing the double mid lane here. The Wukong is going to be so late on his jungle start. It hasn't even started a camp yet.
Mhm.
Oh, this is really, really awkward for him.
Yeah, that's right. He's at
It's-
32 seconds.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
started his first camp. The Jarvan is probably almost done with his.
Yep, that's right. There we go. Javan just finished with his Wukong
Ooh,
already just off the bat. Got the Vision down with his team, but is one entire camp behind.
oh man, that's gotta feel really, really bad because the Jarvan is just going to be able to be at a Scuttle Crab at level 3 compared to the level 2 of the Wukong, or I don't even think he will be there in time. Right, but as I was saying earlier, I think the composition of Nexplay does have a lot of contradicting factors, right? Because, you know, the Wukong, the Galio, and the Akali all want to be going in, whereas the Braum and the Xayah generally do want to be kiting backwards. So there are a lot of varying factors to consider in a team fight, but overall, I think RTZ's team composition is more synergistic compared to Nexplay's.
And that's right. We'll have to see how they fight over this first scuttle, because it looks like Braum is poking his head in to just kind of get an idea of what's going on. But they are going to concede this one because Wukong is in the top side.
So, honestly, it isn't as bad as it could have been, right? Because, to be fair, Jarvan could have taken both Scuttle Crabs considering how far behind the Wukong was. But at this point in time, the Jarvan is still looking for a gank and is now the one that's falling behind the Wukong here.
Yeah, that's right. He's spending a lot of time walking back and forth in his lane. Look at the Kai'Sa actually, as well as the Xayah, are both pretty low. Although I don't think that anything too iffy might happen here. I don't know. He's just chilling in the bush.
Just sort of baiting it out.
Okay, yep, that's the bait out there. The EQ flag and drag is not going to find its mark though. And that means that Xayah is going to be able to get out. Braum though, dropping pretty low himself. But overall, just blowing some summoners in the bot lane.
I mean, I don't even think that was worth, right? Because the Jarvan wasted so much time in that bottom river and that bottom bush, right? And overall, he just leached so much EXP from his bot lane. Even his Raptors camp getting stolen right now. He's just going to be falling so far behind the Wukong. I mean, and all they got was just like 2 flashes and a heal.
Yeah, 2 flashes and a heal. Akali, unfortunately, not going to be able to steal away this big Raptor. But still, getting rid of the Jarvan's experience. And look at him, he's here once again. About 1 camp behind the Wukong. Has decided to back away. And that Wukong there did not spot out that ward. So he's... Well, they have vision of him, so they definitely can play around there. I don't think they have vision of Jarvan at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think anything will be happening right anytime soon. So both teams will just be looking to play around this dragon. Though the first dragon, usually the point in time where both teams, if they don't want to be looking for any sort of cross map, is going to be the team fight that really decides the pace of the game. So the Cloud Dragon here going to be the first drake of the game. Wukong has yet to recall though, so we'll likely see a recall coming in soon after the red buff. Or maybe not.
Jarvan is making the recall from his top side red buff, but Wukong on the other hand is actually maybe gonna try to find a dive right now because this Kai'Sa is alone against
spotted out
3
though.
people. Yep, just gonna back away. Oh, Wukong just going in, forcing the flash right there, but at the cost of not being able to reset. Jarvan coming in for the re-engage. Braum is gonna pop that ultimate, and so is the Cyclone. But it's going to be Seraphine taking him down. The Seraphine ultimate tags up 3 because the Braum shield was down, and now the Galio is in the middle of everyone. Manages to find one back. The health bars on the side of RTZ are really low, but they manage to stay alive. They pick up a couple of kills as well.
I think that was just really awkward overall, right? The Wukong, that one sitting on 1 long sword there, going balls deep, going past the tier 1. Oh,
hold on, this
Soul
Akali is doing a lot of damage right there with the perfect execution, just slicing straight through that Gragas there and finding one back for her team.
Definitely just a little bit of an overstay here from the Gragas, but Now both teams just gonna be running straight back to the Cloud Dragon here. Is the team fight gonna break out? Note that almost everybody doesn't have their outs except the Xayah. So in this sort of situation, we can say Nexplay is sort of favored, right? They do have one ultimate compared to 0.
Yeah, that's right. They have an extra ultimate, and not only that, but RTZ is so focused on their ultimates that not having them is a really big detriment.
Right, they are so reliant on the outs of, the Jarvan and the Seraphine and the Janna for the disengage, right? And without those, their composition is just, notably weaker compared to Nexplay's.
That's right. Still though, they managed to walk in and shove Nexplay off the dragon for now. Nexplay are instead gonna rotate their laners back to mid, and Wukong is actually pathing up into the top side to just continue farming and getting some experience.
So both teams here looking to, not take the risk, don't want to blow open the game yet, and just, just trading sides, just waiting for Rift Herald to spawn, waiting for the outs to come back up. Seraphine out isn't up yet though, but RTZ decided to start the Cloud Dragon, looking for an engage
they
here.
decided to gank bot lane, then forcing out that flash and the Feather Storm from the Xayah, but Wukong coming in with the re-engage. Has the many knockups right there. Janna is in the middle of everyone and she falls. Wukong is just spinning through, but he will fall himself. That's going to be the jungler for the support.
I'm not sure.
Oh my lord.
Gosh,
Okay.
what just happened?
That right there is underestimating the damage that the Galio brings to the table, and that means that Seraphine will pay the price with her life.
I mean, Nexplay there, they just won a 4v5, right? The Akali wasn't even in the fight, and, without the key ultimates on RTZ's side, they are unable to go to even contest this dragon or the Rift Herald at all, I think.
Yeah, that's right. They're just gonna poke their heads in. Akali's not gonna land that shuriken. The Winds of War will not find their mark either. Kai'Sa is stepping forward right now at about half health. I don't know if that's a very smart decision. Akali does get knocked up, however. Everybody is walking to that shroud. Dragon is about 2,000. Ultimates are still not up. Redemption coming down as well. They're gonna try to burst that dragon down, and they managed to get it. Galio with the hero's re-entrance right there, but it's not gonna be enough to help his team out. The Wukong
they're
clone
all
does go
so
down, but
low.
their health bars. And whoa, this is Janna right there, flashing forward, but a nice unbreakable. However, that means that Braum will be sacrificing his life for the rest of his team. Now Xayah as well taking a ton of damage, dodges out on the Seraphine.
The Seraphine notes.
But the Gragas is here. Featherstorm comes out as well. Gragas opts not to throw that barrel and try to take Xayah out, because they're going to be satisfied with the fact that she blew her ultimate. Still though, that means that RTZ are going to be able to push down this bottom lane turret, and they get themselves a dragon, a kill, and a turret.
I think that whole dragon capture there was really awkward for the side of Nexplay, because none of them were in position to sort of, defend the dragon area or the river itself, right? RTZ, they just slowly walked into the river, and with no control over the river, Nexplay couldn't actually defend the dragon, and it just got stolen away. Now both teams here are going to be setting up for this Rift Herald. I'm not sure how this team fight will look, right? Because we do actually see the items are sort of even. Wukong hitting his power spike. Oh
dear, Janna face checking, and that's not what you want to be doing. Pops the monsoon, but goes down. Seraphine here to try to land some damage back, but that still means that they're one member down, and they might just be 2 members down there. Oh dear, this is just really disaster right now. This Wukong coming in, that's a very nice Seraphine ultimate, but she herself gets popped by the Akali. Really effective pick right now. Akali does go down to the Gragas, but I think he is not gonna be able to get out. Actually, they turned their focus to the Kai'Sa, even though the stun landed on the Gragas. That means that he lives, but Kai'Sa, I don't know. Is she gonna be alright? Yeah, I think Janna's coming up right now. Janna can actually shield, but she shields the turret instead of the Kai'Sa. That's not the best move. That means that the Kai'Sa is gonna go down. Really a very unfortunate missed target there, but Gragas coming in with the explosive cast to find 2. Is he gonna find 3? One more bonk should do the trick. In fact, it's actually gonna be Jarvan. But while all that was happening, Wukong was actually taking the Rift Herald.
I mean, these two teams look so even in all the team fights. It's kind of awkward because they're just throwing it to each other, right? First, Janna gets caught, then the Jarvan gets caught, and then after that, Nexplay, they just overstay in the team fight, and to the point where the people that died just came back and killed them again.
Yeah, that's right. I think that is the problem, that they're being a little too overzealous about things. I mean, Wukong was like, okay guys, I'm gonna take the Rift Herald. But the rest of her team was just like, let's dive, let's kill all of them. And that really cost them it cost them the advantage that they could have gotten.
Yeah, for sure. Now the game is sort of even, right? Only a 1.5k gold lead to the side of RTZ, which at this point in time, 10 minutes in the game, it is nothing to scoff at. But to be fair, we don't see lots of differences here in the team fights itself, and we do understand that RTZ's team composition is one that's easier to operate and also more synergistic. So, is there going to be a rotation here to catch the Xayah in the bot lane?
Yeah, it looks like Xayah's just gonna back off, but I want to talk a bit about the gold lead, because if you look at who it's on, about 600 of it is on the Jarvan, another 200 of it is on the Xayah, and the other is just kind of distributed-ish on the rest of the team. So really it's not enough gold to be meaningful and to give an item advantage at this point in time. So really when you look at it, 1.2k is really not that much when it's spread so evenly across the team.
Right. And also do note that, Jarvan isn't a champion that's really going to be carrying games. And the Seraphine here does have a small gold lead, but I don't think it really makes that much of a difference, right? It's not, the gold lead that she has is not even worth like a component item.
Absolutely
Brave
right.
Harry
Brave
here
Herald,
will be
yeah.
swarmed.
They're coming down to pressure the mid lane. It's gonna most likely be able to fight his charge, yep. But now the dragon is up, and it's actually Nexplay who are the first ones there. I believe the Redemption is used to scout it out. Braum already using the Unbreakable, though that means that Seraphine has the capability to use her ultimate. There's no blocking. The Infernal Dragon will go down to Wukong, and the team fight has begun. Monsoon. And that's a pretty good Seraphine ultimate. Wukong is spinning around, and Akali's in the middle of everyone, but she's not got enough damage to finish them off, or use the perfect execution only when they're about half health, and now the rest of Nexplay are forced to run away. They get the dragon, but they lose their Akali.
I think that was actually pretty good macro decision from Nexplay, right? They put the Rift Herald in the mid lane to get the priority, distract the enemy team, and go for the dragon. But what we saw in that team fight was exactly what we talked about before, right? Where their team composition doesn't really synergize well. When the Galio, when the Wukong goes in, the Xayah and the Braum cannot follow up, right? They are the ones running back, and there's just no DPS, no damage to be done to the Seraphine and the Janna.
Yeah, I also want to say that the Braum keeps using his Unbreakable shield, and that just gives a lot of window of opportunity for the Seraphine to use her ultimate, when I feel like he should try to use it to block out that key spell instead of just blocking like some random like barrel. They're gonna catch out the Braum as well. That Cataclysm there on Tomb. The Braum flashes out, but Xayah doesn't have a flash of her own. Uses that Zhonya's Hourglass, but will go down to the Jarvan.
It was a really, really big and crucial catch there, because now Baron is up, and without the...
Yeah, they're just gonna go ahead and catch even more. This Kai'Sa just flashing forward using the Cathian Rain will take the Galio down.
Is that going to be a tier 3 mid lane tower?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a tier 3 mid lane tower right there. Kai'Sa just grabbing the red and heading over with the rest of her team. They're gonna be very satisfied with this, and Kai'Sa still in the front, just showing how confident she is with the rest of her team.
Well, this is so big, right? Because now having the tier 3 tower down means that you don't really have to worry that much about getting mid priority anymore, and playing around the Baron, getting the river control is going to be so much easier, especially for the side of RTZ, right, where they want to be able to catch enemy off guard with the Jarvan Altar and with the Seraphine out.
Yep, that's right. They're just gonna reset and make some purchases right now. Now we can see that there's a more substantial gold lead. Like in the pocket of Seraphine, where it's 1,600, and the pocket of... Okay, Kai'Sa's goal is not too bad. The main difference is really in the mid lane right now.
Yeah, the mid and the jungle are really quite far ahead for RTZ. Although it's a little bit awkward. I mean, the Seraphine build is pretty much a flea market at this point in time. Selling you some tier, some books and
some rods.
Some rods. Not sure what she's going for there, but I think it just looks like we have Seraphs and the Rabadon, but it's a little bit kind of, weird that... Yeah.
But still, even in terms of the raw stats, the fact that she has those two needless large rods are gonna help her out a bunch, especially when she's...
I think the Galio here actually, oddly enough, going for the Rylai's, which doesn't really add that much damage to his kit. And, it doesn't give as much tank stats as something, maybe a Leandri's would. So I feel it's a really odd pickup, right? And we do see the Jarvan here opting into the full tank Jarvan, which I think is a really good option. We see the Wukong buying the Yomus here, but I don't think he'll be doing that much damage, especially against the likes of the Janna and the Seraphine.
Yeah, we see when the Wukong goes in, his health bar just gets demolished really quickly. I mean, he does have the Guardian Angel, but once that's down, he's basically a free kill in the middle. And when Baron is the objective, I don't know if you want to send your jungler on basically a suicide run. Seraphine, by the way, has completed her Rabadon, so that's going to be a lot more damage coming out from her as well.
Now it looks like both teams here just farming it out, waiting for the dragon to spawn. I think this is just going to go over to the side RTZ, right? I doubt that NXP will be able to contest this.
You do see that they're pinging the Kai'Sa right now.
Oh,
they might
Wukong with a flank position.
Yep. I'll be looking for a contest here. The dragon is not started up. It is warded as well, by the way. They're just going to give their red buff over to the Xayah first. Gragas is going to get caught out, but the fight has begun right here. Kai'Sa is in the front and forced to flash away. Seraphine ultimate will tag onto 3. And now this Kai'Sa is able to free fire, and she dashes Killer Instincts into the back line. That is not what you want to do. You really don't want to do that. Now Kai'Sa is down, but the rest of the team still has enough damage. Xayah is going to fall as well. Not before pulling back a feather and dealing a fair amount. Seraphine, yeah, but this Wukong is able to dash in and find more damage. Seraphine is going to be able to go down. But now that he comes out with the Guardian Angel, it looks like he's going to be free food for the Jarvan. And even though it was a nice try, it's still going to be the ace.
Wait, are they ending
RTZ,
the game?
and yeah, I think they might be able to end. That's still going to be like 20 seconds on the death timers right now.
That's a super
Braum.
minion.
Yeah, it's a super minion. And I think that this Gragas and Janna might be able to end this one. It's 2000 and yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Jarvan is here. This
oh
is gonna be the end, and just like that, they don't even need the Baron. They don't need the Dragon. RTZ Underank Athena pick up game 1.
Well, that was actually pretty crazy. I didn't expect them to just instantly end the game like that. And even in that situation where the Kai'Sa sort of ran it down, but you know her team was always there, and Seraphine just untouched throughout the whole team fight. You know, putting out so much damage, so much shield, so much heals. And
yeah.
Oh.
That's right. Look at that Seraphine damage at 17,000. And you're right, even though the Kai'Sa basically dive bombed her way into the back line, right? The Seraphine was able to find the damage that they needed to win the team fight. And I think that's really what allows them to end the game. In fact, if you look at the goal lead right there, RTZ didn't even have the goal lead until about halfway through the game.
I think for Nexplay here, the major thing that they should be looking towards in the next game is how they can sort of fix their draft, right? Because we did see in a lot of the team fights where the Wukong and the Galio are diving in with the Akali. The Xayah and the Braum are just unable to follow up and are just being too distracted by the Jarvan, right? Too easy for them to be caged in, and Jarvan just isn't going to die because he can just Cataclysm in and flag and drag out.
Yeah, that's right. Even if he does go down, he does have the GA to be even more irritating, because you then have to wait around, and even that didn't get popped in that last fight there. Anyway, we'll be going for a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be game 2 of the series. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the FSL Wild Rift Open. We're here for game 2 of the quarterfinals. It is Nexplay Tempest going up against RTZ Underank Athena, and in the previous round, RTZ Athena picked up 1 win, so it's match point right now.
Yeah, and we did see a little bit of adaptation in the drafts, right? Nexplay decided to ban the Galio instead of the Ziggs, which we do see RTZ here pick up very swiftly in the 2-3 on the blue side picks.
That's right. Nexplay is sticking with the Orianna ban as well. They really don't want to see that. But interestingly, Kai'Sa was the first pick, so that means that at the end of the day, RTZ still prioritized that over any AoE mid laner.
Now, something unconventional here. We do see the Xin Zhao coming out from Nexplay. Oh, is it Graves? However, going to be the first if we... Oh,
yeah.
It is locked in. We do see a Graves, the first Graves of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Should be the first Xin Zhao as well, I believe. Some different things here in the jungle for this game.
Oh, Camille being last picked here for the side of Nexplay. I think now Nexplay's team composition, I feel, is pretty simple, right? They are playing a kite back composition that really relies on the Camille to create pressure in the side lane. So it really has to see how they are able to operate in this early game, or if there's a lot of fiesta or shenanigans like there was in the last game where the first dragon was alive until like maybe 7 minutes. right? Whereas on the side of RTZ, I think their composition is fairly straightforward, right? They do have a front-to-back comp with the Braum and the Malphite being the tanks. They can choose to go in, they can choose to kite back as well. And the Ziggs here just has so much value because he completely outranges everybody on the side of Nexplay, and they don't really have a reliable way to get to him outside of the Camille.
Yeah, that's right, and that's where RTZ are most comfortable. Everything again that they've won, right, has had this kind of front to back composition, and they're able to find these for themselves time and time again. So I think it just comes down once again to the execution. But I do have some confidence in RTZ that they're gonna be able to execute this one properly.
For sure. Now, there's going to be another 4-man top side like we did see Nexplay do the previous game. But doesn't seem like there's going to be any some form of invade. The Braum here.
RTZ are the ones who are invading right now. The Ezreal is going to get caught out. He's going to get tagged up by that Winter Spike. But they're just there to take away the vision and put some of their own.
Wait, the Malphite is also here.
Yeah, and there's also like a counter invade right there from Nexplay. They are going to be exchanging blue buffs right here.
So I think this is weird, right? Because the Malphite is going to be losing so much EXP here. And he's actually going bot lane?
Okay, I don't know what's happening here.
Double jungle? No.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna be
walking straight back to top lane, I guess.
Yeah, but you're right. That means he's gonna miss out on a lot of that experience right there. Just looking a bit at the lane assignments for now, it looks like it's gonna be a 1-2-1, of course, with the one in the top lane being significantly delayed. Camille's already hit level 2.
Now we do see Janna actually just opt to go back to the bot lane. Doesn't want to match their 1-2-1 here. I mean, the Ziggs here are going to be fine farming it out against the Ezreal and the Janna, right? Very long range with a lot of wave clear. I don't think he's going to be getting punished really that hard. Do see a little bit of poke, but that's going to be about it, right? And Xing Zhao here meeting the Graves in the bottom side of the river.
Yep, that's right. They're going to be fighting over the Skull Crab, but there is priority bot side for Nexplay, but priority in mid for RTZ in this fight is going to break out. Gragas does not land the body slam. The Scuttle Crab
goes to the Xing Zhao.
Yep, Xing Zhao is going to get that Scuttle Crab, and he's going to be satisfied with that and going to leave with the rest of his team.
I think that's where we saw the bot priority make so much difference there, because the Janna and the Ezreal did have the push against the Ziggs, and the Ziggs was unable to be there at the fight first, right? Despite the Kai'Sa and the Braum being there first, it didn't make as much of a difference when their dual lane was there in position already.
Yeah, and there's another fight here for the top side Skull Crab. I believe this one went over to the side of RTZ. But now the Ziggs is gonna be in a little less comfortable of a position because he spent a whole bunch of mana in that fight. So he's gonna have even less, but then with the Xing Zhao gonna get caught out in his own jungle. Very nice little invade there from RTZ, and that's gonna be first blood going over to the Kai'Sa.
That's really huge actually, because the Kai'Sa is the one that needs the gold to be able to hit a first upgrade, right? And I think this 500 gold here is going to be crucial for her to get that upgrade right before the dragon.
Yep, absolutely. They're gonna be rotating the Braum over down to the bot lane. Ziggs actually out of mana right now. I think he's gonna make a reset. You can see the bot lane on the side of Nexplay already doing so themselves.
Now, we do actually see the effects of that level 1 invade, right? Despite the fact that Kai'Sa did get the kill and they did get a lot of money from the first blood. You know, the Malphite is just so far behind that the gold lead is virtually non-existent. So I think they really had, like, sort of blundered that level 1, but it really boils down to this first dragon fight to see, you know, who is the one that's going to come out of the early game with the lead, and if it's
Yep, Xing Zhao
pause that thought.
in the bot lane right there. Very nice jump. The Braum is gonna be able to get out of that one, but Xing Zhao showing his hand in the bot side.
Now, we did mention the previous game, right? Because I was about to say the Graves, which was the Wukong the last game, didn't recall for the dragon. So now she is actually going to take her recall and be, you know, rushing that Guardian's Angel. Going to be way, way, way up this Xing Zhao here. So BF sword and the chain vest, whereas the Xing Zhao is only sitting on the long sword and the chain vest. So she actually has no mana at all. It's going to be a really late recall here by the Xing Zhao, or just not having enough resources.
Yeah, Xing Zhao, I don't know why he has no mana, but he does have the blue buff. Yeah, managed to
Smolten
get that
away.
one. Very luckily there. He will have another smite for the dragon.
Now we do see that Nexplay here, they are at the Dragon first. They had a better recall timing and, you know, they're just able to pick up the Scuttle Crab and dissuade RTZ from just doing anything in this bottom river here. The Camille has already moved over.
Yep, but
so
oh, that's rather unfortunate there. The Winter's Bite did not connect.
Oh, this is really, really awkward for the side of Nexplay because the Camille moved over. He missed out a lot of EXP and farm in the top lane, and the Malphite just getting, you know, a little. Oh,
Yep, Xin Zhao is bought once again. That's going to be Chusha Barrage landing the barrier. I believe was used by the Kaisa as well as the Redemption. And with that, Nexplay are satisfied for now.
are they going to start the Dragon?
They
Are not, I guess.
are not. And instead, RTZ sent their Graves bot lane. I'm quite sure he was spotted out there. But for some reason, the Janna still decides to stand around and tank a whole bunch of damage.
A little bit frisky there. I mean, I'm at this point in time, I think both teams are just content in farming it out. I'm not sure if any team is actually going to start the Dragon at all. So both teams here, the Xin Zhao and the Graves included, just going to be farming, looking for small ganks. The Malphite just not having the best time, especially since, right, we see that she's rushed actually the teleport here. Really unconventional, but if you look at the items, right, the Camille has already completed that Trinity Force compared to the one Ruby Crystal on the Malphite.
That's right. Rift Herald is going to be up in 13 seconds. Maybe the teams will place more emphasis on that instead.
Oh.
It's going to be a fight in the top lane. Yeah, Camille is going to be doing quite a lot of damage up here.
That Trinity Force paying dividends here, and the teleport, you know, not used early on, not used to create any pressure of sorts, so isn't actually paying back for the amount that it actually costs. So what is this Malphite going to be accomplishing here? Because he can't exactly teleport, you know, like in the face of the Camille. And the Camille here in this situation is always going to be able to move first, you know, because he has the priority. And a little bit of a contest here over the bottom side.
Nope, that's more than a little bit of a contest there. As you're getting knocked up, Xin Zhao going back in as well. He's going to be dropping pretty low, but so are every single person on RTZ. Gragas has arrived, but he has no more mana as well. They're just going to trade ultimates and back off.
Okay, we're going to take a bet here, right? How long do you think this dragon will stay alive for?
I would say he will be down by 8 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, I think actually that's pretty accurate, but I think this dragon might stay alive until like probably 9 minutes here.
Alright,
like the way that the teams are fighting, they're so risk averse, right, that no team really wants to make a proper engagement because they're really scared that this one team fight will blow their whole team out of the water.
Yeah, and that's usually how these games do go. Ezreal is gonna chunk the Graves out a fair amount. He's dropping pretty low.
Ooh.
The tornado from the Janna, however, will miss, and it seems like our predictions may be wrong.
Right, the Ezreal there had so much damage with his poke. The Graves being a bit too... Oh,
he's dropping down to about 2,000. Redemption is coming out as well. As you're going to fire off the Chusha Barrage.
Malphite is here.
Malphite is here as well. The Mountain Dragon is going to go to Xin Zhao, but he's just going to get slapped down into that Guardian Angel.
Wait, Malphite doesn't have ult.
Oh, he doesn't? Yeah, you're right. But hey, his presence here is going to be enough for now. But the AoE return damage from Nexplay is too much. Kaisa diving into the backline. Graves popped into his Guardian Angel as well. And Camille with a Hextech Ultimatum onto the Malphite is going to push that Graves back and ensure the death of the Malphite as well. Nexplay are starting to win this team fight, and they have secured that team fight win.
Well, I mean, I think that was just so weird from the Malphite, right? Because she came over without her ultimate, was pretty much just a sitting rock there, and the moment that the Camille followed through, the Camille just provided so much more. Right, so I don't know what was the point of that rotation there, but in the end it just led to a really bad 5v5 for the side of RTZ. Now Nexplay in a commanding lead, 5,000 go up here, playing for this Rift Herald. Is there going to be enough time? I think it's actually going to despawn here, so...
I don't know, Graves is going to get caught out right now, and if he actually dies, they can take this Rift Herald. Ezreal is going to Arcade Shift over the wall and take him out. And just like that, now they have an actual opening to take this Rift Herald.
Can they stall it long enough? Wait, is the Rift Herald actually just going to expire, like in front of them?
I have no idea.
Do they do it in time?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's so lucky actually. But either way, right, Nexplay here are rotating their bot lane up to the top. Oh.
Yeah, this is Malphite right now. He's not having a good time. They send their bot lane to the opposite side of the map compared to the other team. Nexplay are going to be able to secure this outer turret for free.
I mean, looking at the gold itself, right? This, like, not just Nexplay's like 7,000 gold up, right? All the gold is on their key carries, right? We talked about how their team composition is supposed to operate, right? They need the Camille to be, providing pressure and just pushing in the Malphite in the side lane, and 2,000 gold up the Malphite, and the Ezreal as well, such a key component in maintaining that 4-1 strategy is also 3,000 gold up.
That's right. Ezreal is of course Chubby, who really carried the previous 2 games that we watched Nexplay play, besides the last one of course. And look at how aggressive she is there, just firing away on those mystic shots, keeping the pressure up on her opponents. Camille, of course, is also pushing out this bot lane, forcing the Malphite there. Look at just how strong this Ezreal and Janna duo is. 3 members from RTZ and still not enough to defend against them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive stuff, but oh my lord, this Graves is dropping pretty low. Ezreal does have True Shot Barrage available, and Kaisa, what are you doing? Oh no! She goes down, True Shot Barrage being fired as well. It's gonna tag that Graves, but it's gonna keep him barely alive. He just had enough health to get out of that one.
Now here, this really is a feels bad moment because their composition without the Malphite doesn't have any engage to sort of go onto the Ezreal or the Janna, and the Malphite here being held under the turret by the Camille. So this gold lead being placed onto the key members here really making a lot of difference. And the Braum...
Yeah, actually goes in to try to find the Janna, but a beautiful Howling Gale right there is gonna knock up both Graves and Braum and stop them in their tracks.
Now, I don't want to be calling this too early, but this 10,000 gold lead, and especially with the inactivity from RTZ, it really looks like they've been really confused and no idea how they can combat, Nexplay's team composition. And the moment that Nexplay gets this Baron, I think it's just going to be game over.
Yeah, the Dragon is coming up in 5 seconds. Xin Zhao still has the Rift Herald for himself. He's going to be just walking down towards that bot side. Malphite is making the recall, and
Rift spawned in the bot lane here. This does make a lot of sense, right? Because it is going to be able to get you the free bot lane priority, going to be able to force the Graves to be in the bot lane. And if this Dragon is uncontested, you can maybe make a rotation to Baron. 1v1.
It's not going to be a 1v1 anymore because the Braum is here. He's got that passive 3-stack. One more hit will do the trick, and oh dear. They couldn't even find that. On the other hand, on Nexplay's side, they have found that Graves and they're just going to be taking him out. This Graves pick is really not working out.
Yeah, I think all of it.
Fell as well.
Yeah, holy. I think he died to the Ezreal if I'm not mistaken. I think all of this started from that level 1, right, where we put the Malphite in such a bad situation in the laning phase. And, Malphite isn't a champion that's easily going to... nothing is going to happen. Like as I was saying, Malphite isn't a champion that's easily going to be able to find leads by himself. And if you put him on an island, especially with the build path that he went for, with the teleport being his first item, a little bit of an engage, but nothing going to be happening here.
I find it weird that if they want to engage, they're engaging with the Braum.
Right, it should be the
Malphite, right? Because the Braum is so much more telegraphed and it's so easy to dodge as compared to the Malphite ultimate. Maybe the Braum to follow up instead would be a lot better, but I think, I don't know, RTZ are just kind of crumbling at this point.
Right, showing a lot of indecision and, just absolutely just not sure how they want to play against the side of Nexplay, because their composition should revolve around the Malphite and the Ziggs combination, right? Showing your ultimates into the backline of the carries and maybe melting them with the Kaisa going into the backline. But so far we have not seen that happen at all, throughout any of these team fights. So
yeah,
I'm not sure how they can actually come back into this game. I feel the only champion actually that can really do anything against the likes of Nexplay is the Ziggs, but the Ziggs here, only 7,000 gold is so far behind.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to be conceding their Baron because they're going to try to get the Camille, but they can't even do that. The Baron is just going to be given on a silver platter. Malphite! That is not what you want to be doing there. He uses the flash and the unstoppable force. Can't even take the Baron and goes down.
Very, I mean, valiant attempt to maybe save the game here, but you know, with the Baron Asher, I think it's just gonna be lights out for RTZ because Nexplay's team composition so safe, so much pressure from the Ezreal and the Camille here. Nobody. Oh,
Yep, Camille just really putting up that pressure right there. Brom just gonna get dropped. True Shot Barrage is gonna sweep past them, but it's just not going to be enough damage, I guess, to clear out any further members. But if you look at all three lanes right here, in the top lane we have the bot lane duo just destroying the tower, and in the mid lane Gragas is just slamming away. In the bot lane we've got Camille, and that means that RTZ only have their base left, and it's getting pounded away by like 10 cannons, and there's really no chance for RTZ to come back in this game. It's gonna be Nexplay picking up game 2.
now there's just so much that needs to be looked at here. I think for the side of RTZ, if they want to go into the next game, what is their game plan going to be? How are they going to change their, their early to mid game strategy? Because this Malphite and the teleport first item didn't really look that good. Although previously in their past records, the Malphite has been what's been giving them a lot of the wins. So
yeah, this is the first time that their combo really didn't come to fruition at all, and Nextplay were able to just run away with the game. I think you're absolutely right. It was that level 1 shenanigan where the Malphite just had to walk all the way down from bot lane up to top lane. Yeah,
it's a little bit awkward.
Oh, a little bit is an understatement, my friend. It was really sad to just watch that rock just like slowly walk up eventually. But yeah, looking at the goal graph here, it's a lot more one-sided as compared to game 1. Of course, this means that both teams are gonna be 1-1 in this series. Let's just take a look at some of these graphs right there.
I think RTZ definitely will have to go back to the drawing board and find out what is the draft that they are most comfortable with. Definitely we saw in the previous game where maybe the Braum is actually the bait here, right? Because the Braum is the reliable melee carry, but in the two games that we saw, the Braum is either a misplay or didn't serve as much of a counter at all.
That's right. Well, we'll be going for a short break. When we come back, it's going to be match point for this quarterfinals. It's going to be exciting. You do not want to miss it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the match point of this quarterfinal series. It is RTZ going up against Nexplay Esports, and both of them are 1-1. So this right now is where everything is on the line, and something we want to talk about before we get into the draft real quick is that they changed their bans from Corki Lux, RTZ that is, to Corki and Janna, and instantly Nexplay pick up that Lux.
Yeah, I think Lux in the current meta is that sort of secondary disengage support, comparable with Janna, but does have a little bit more usage in teamfights as well. We do see, interestingly enough, RTZ, they do fall back onto the Kai'Sa, Malphite and the Nami, but this time they don't opt for the Ziggs, which didn't really produce that much results. And the Seraphine here being Harvard did have a very outstanding performance in the first game.
Yep, that's right. Remember, now there are no more chances. It is effectively a BO1 for both of these teams. It's their final chance to advance to the semifinals. So everything right now being on the table means that you have to play your best. And well, they've decided that even though Ziggs isn't banned, we're just going to default to the Seraphine, which worked out very well for them in game 1.
Now, Nexplay's team composition running back again with the 4-1 composition, putting the Camille in the side lane, last picking it, and putting in a good matchup against the Malphite here, whereas the Ezreal Lux and the Gragas and the Singtao are just going to be the 4-man strong, going to be able to wave clear and allow for the Camille to be able to push and pressure in the side lane.
Yep, that's right. Hopefully this time, please, the Malphite, you need to be careful there, my friend. You need to be more decisive on where to go. If not, you're going to end up walking and taking a cross-map tour around the Wild Rift before you finally reach your lane. And that's definitely not what you want to happen in this game 3 now, where everything is really on the line.
Now, interestingly enough, the Seraphine does take exhaust here, which is kind of odd because I don't see her being in range of anybody to exhaust. I mean, maybe outside of the Xin Zhao here. Also, notably enough, is that they did, they did change their pick into a Nami, right, from the Braum, which I do think is an upgrade because the Braum there in the previous game didn't have much impact, especially when you're getting outranged, right, by an Ezreal and the Lux. So the Nami here does help you with the disengage, and it also helps you with an engage with a tidal wave. So now it's going to be a normal laning phase. Nothing special going to be happening like the previous game.
That's right. Just going back to the standard 1-1-2. Seraphine did place a ward there into the Xin Zhao's jungle, so he will be spotted out. I believe that there's no such other ward on the Wukong side. So now that means that RTZ have additional information of where the Xin Zhao is, and Wukong can path accordingly. He's gonna head to his Krugs first.
I think Nexplay also do know where the Wukong is, right? They did see Nami come back a little bit late. They might have, assumed that maybe she was leashing for him. And we see Wukong doing a 3-camp spot side, meaning there's going to be a fat fight here for the bottom Scarlet Crab.
And that's right.
Oh,
Xin Zhao as well.
Wait a second. That's... Oh.
Okay, Rue does land, but that's gonna be a double bubble right there. Lux has 4 of those Kai'Sa passive stacks, isn't gonna get those popped. Luckily for her, she has the shields, it's not too bad, but here is the Xin Zhao and here is the Gragas. Now Wukong is a little out of position, uses the decoy, but Lux walking straight back in, is forced to flash away, gets exhausted as well, and Seraphine Root will miss.
The crab though.
Yeah, the crab is gonna go over to Nexplay. Both crabs. In fact,
that was just really good from the Camille here. She understands that, okay, the only thing that Wukong can do now is go for the top lane Scarlet Crab, but I'm going to take it for myself, get myself a little bit of a gold lead, and, really just deny the Wukong any of that gold and EXP here.
Yeah, that's right, getting double crab there. Excellent call by that Camille. Of course, we also have to talk a bit about how weird that fight was at bot lane there with the exchanges, but actually it's no time because there's another fight at bot lane right now, and Kai'Sa has a flash, but it doesn't matter. She's still gonna get knocked up.
A little bit late there.
Yep, that's right. Xin Zhao is still gonna make her go back to the summoning platform, and Nami actually finds that interrupt that dodges out the light binding, might be able to find a return kill. Nope, doesn't have the bubble still, and so that means Lux will be able to go back home.
Now, really crucial exchanges happening, because the Ezreal now is just snowballed much further ahead of the Kai'Sa, and being able to get that man immune way ahead of the Kai'Sa, especially when she's so stunted, right, just only having a BF sword. If she doesn't get her Q upgrade or her first skill upgrade for the first dragon, she's going to be so much weaker than the Ezreal that is always going to be able to complete that man immune on the first objective.
And that's right, in the last round we saw Chubby on that Ezreal doing a ton of work. Trusha Barrage is gonna whiff as well. But over in the top side here, we see more attention being focused onto getting this Camille ahead. Malphite dropped pretty low. He saved his ultimate though, and I think that that's gonna be pretty important if they want to contest the first dragon, because if you recall correctly, the previous time, Malphite actually teleported down without his ultimate, and that was a huge problem.
I think that was really good from the side of Nexplay to try and force out the Malphite ultimate.
Yep, a bit of engage coming in here as well. This Nami's going to be tanking up. The Seraphine ultimate is going to connect onto the Ezreal only. Wukong chooses not to use the ultimate, but Gragas is here. Nami dropped really low by that barrel, but she will not be turned into sushi just yet.
I think that was again a crucial mistake there by the side of RTZ, burning the Seraphine ultimate for that engage, which, missing in the dragon fight is going to be a huge problem for them. The Malphite going to be recalling here. I think going to be moving over.
Yeah. To be fair though, Nexplay did use the ultimate, their own ultimates. The explosive cask was used as well as the final spark. So if you look, I mean, Seraphine doesn't have an ultimate, but sure, there's also a Malphite. There's also a Nami ultimate to kind of be that team fight engage, and there's also a Wukong as well, as you can see right now, just going to go in. That has that second knockup, but actually gets knocked away and peeled off. Xin Zhao is going to be the one who's going to sacrifice his life for his AD carry. Lux taking a lot of damage as well. Nami overstepping their nice sidestep of the final spark. But Camille didn't rotate down at all through any of this.
Yeah, I wanted to say this is just a 4v5 the whole time there. The Wukong going a little bit prematurely, and the Malphite here, she didn't make a good rotation, right? And instead of buying the teleport in the first game, went for the Rod of Ages, and is able to have decent tank stats in this team fight. But oh my.
Yeah, this Ezreal is just arcane shifting straight in right now. He has the
Oh.
confidence, but does not have the ability to land that last missing shot there. Kai'Sa picks up the honey fruit, and at the very least, she stays alive. The Malphite, however, has still been sticking around here for ages.
This is tragic for him.
Yeah, but the Xin Zhao is gonna be pushed off the dragon once
Already
again.
has his guardian angel though, the Xin Zhao.
Yep, but the dragon now is in the hands of RTZ, and it looks like with this,
Oh,
yeah, that was a little early there, but a nice try. But hey, Nexplay concede this dragon, and instead they say we're just gonna let our Camille take the first turret and let her get ahead.
I think that is probably the best decision that Nexplay could do, because not only did Malphite stay for 2 or 3 waves. Oh, hold on.
Ezreal's gonna get hit up by that tidal wave, and that's gonna allow Kai'Sa to dash in, but dashes straight
my.
into the arms of the Gragas, and he is here ready to slam that barrel down and take the Wukong as well. That's a bit of an overcommitment there from RTZ.
Man, if I don't know what is going on, because definitely Nexplay are making the right macro decisions, and although RTZ are matching them like evenly, 3v3, 4v4, and even a 5v4 at the dragon itself, they're just coming out just negative, like they just can't find the wins or the teamfight wins that they need to snowball this game.
Yeah, and oh dear, Malphite face checking right now. There's nothing you can do to escape this Hextech ultimatum. It is gonna expire though. But if he did use that barrier,
A little bit
as
of an
well.
awkward barrier.
Yeah. That's right, barriering after he takes all the damage. Feels bad.
Yeah, but I was like I was saying earlier, I think the Camille here, Nexplay played this macro game superb, because the Camille is so far ahead. Instead of walking over to the dragon and taking a 50-50 team fight, she just continued wailing at the top lane turret, making the Malphite miss so much CS, getting all the turret platings for herself, and just overall just so hard for the Malphite to be able to do anything now.
Yeah, that's right. Malphite has fallen behind by 2,000 gold already. In fact, in general, RTZ has fallen back by a significant amount of gold. It's about 7,000 there across the board. Kai'Sa as well is 1,500 gold behind her counterpart. Even in the jungle, we see about 1,200 gold lead for the Xin Zhao.
So this is just like the story of last game, right? Where Nexplay, they play the early game well, they understand the limits of their composition, and they know what is their win condition. So the Camille and Ezreal here, just both, far ahead of their counterparts, being able to operate their team composition, and RTZ here just struggling and confused again. What do they need to do to get back into this game?
That's right, they need to not get dove by that Camille though. She might have overdone this one. Luckily for her, she does have a lot of mobility, and look at this here, RTZ are being pushed out of their mid lane, out of turret. This Ezreal starting to come online with the Mystic Shots, as well as the flank from the Gragas, as well as the Xin Zhao. Look at how low the enemy team is. The Seraphine ultimate is not going to connect with a nice arcade shift there from the Ezreal, and that means that there's nothing that RTZ can do, and wow, that True Shot Barrage was really, really close as well.
I mean, we talked about how their composition was supposed to operate, right? The Camille there had so much pressure onto the Malphite. He forced the Wukong to come over, and it made the mid and top side going to be a 4v3, and they just rotate over Nexplay, understand the opportunity, and just take that free mid tier 1 tower.
Right now, Nexplay, I have reset, and they're gonna be looking towards the second dragon. Rift Herald is already in the hands of the Xin Zhao. And RTZ really need to be careful about phase checking into this team, right? Because there's the Lux binding, there's the Xin Zhao and the Gragas as well. That means that if they just misstep, they can just instantly get destroyed.
I think the only way that RTZ can come back into this game right now is just get a miracle team fight around this dragon, or at the Baron Nashor, right? Or they really have to find a way to be able to catch this Camille out in the side lane.
Yeah, but this Camille has just been jumping around, doing her best attack on Titan impression, right? It's just been really, really hard for RTZ to do anything realistically. And they're just getting shoved out of their jungle once again here. Ezreal is gonna not get that red buff, is gonna be going over to Xin Zhao. But still continuing to starve their opponents out. Nexplay keeps move over towards this dragon. We see RTZ are trying to move in as well. Explosive Cask was used to try to dissuade any further
teleport.
advances. Teleport as well. That's a nice Lux ultimate onto the Wukong, but she gets caught up and she gets comboed down instantly. The Dragon is going to go over to the Gragas, however, and now this Camille has started to whack away on her opponents. Kaisa using the killer instincts to dash away from her, but that's straight into the waiting arms of Xin Zhao, who has a triple kill so far. Camille is still chasing in onto the Malphite and the Seraphine. Malphite surely is going to fall. Seraphine, I don't know if she's going to be able to make it out of this one. Look at this Ezreal. He has about 200 health and he's still chasing. He doesn't care. She just easily sidesteps there, and Xin Zhao walking straight back. That's going to be a flash into the body slam, into the True Shot Barrage, and that's going to be Seraphine getting wiped off the face of Wild Rift. And that's going to be an ace for Nexplay.
I think that's just Nexplay just wiping the floor. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, this can be a bit of an overstay right here from the Xin Zhao. A few more hits will do the trick. One more dash in.
Ooh.
That Kaisa is going to find her long range snipe as well.
Goal.
Shutdown goal goes over to Wukong.
A little bit unfortunate that the Kaisa couldn't get the gold there, but I don't think it would have made much of a difference. Like talking about these two teams again, right? Nexplay here just so far ahead, right? They are playing a composition that does scale better, and they are ahead in the early and mid game. So once it reaches the late game, or if it can even reach the late game, RTZ will be really hard pressed to find those miracle team fights. And we saw in that position, if the Malphite doesn't have a, maybe 3-4 man ultimate and following with a Seraphine out, they just can't do anything in the team fights. They don't have enough damage, and we saw the Lux so much utility and so much damage, stalling so much time. We understand why now, RTZ were banning it in the first 2 games.
That's right, Seraphine ultimate is gonna whiff once again, but Lux, are they gonna try to find their way in? Yes, they will. That's gonna be a Cyclone and 2 flashes there. Lux, however, is able to stay alive with the shield. And look at the reply damage from the Ezreal and the Gragas right there. Malphite lands the unstoppable force, but it really does not matter at all. He is going to fall, and so will the Wukong. The rest of RTC are gonna drop. That's gonna be the Ezreal Arcane shifting forward to take out the Seraphine, and next play they found 3.
Now their composition is just so easy to play against the likes of RTZ, especially when they are ahead, right? Because RTZ, they really need to catch out this Ezreal as well as the Lux, but they were never in a position to do so. And even when they managed to land the Malphite ulti, it was too late already. The Ezreal had so much damage done to the back line of RTZ.
Yep, that's right. And next play, they find themselves a Baron Nashor, and now they can start to move forward and try to end this game. They are pretty far ahead right now. 16,000 gold lead. That's what separates them from RTZ, and this Camille being an absolute menace in the bot lane here. Just split pushing.
Now we do see the composition from the side of Nexplay in effect again, right? Running with that 2-2-1 here. I wonder what's going to be the plan for RTC, if they still are going to find a way to pick off either the Ezreal and the Lux or the Camille. What is the Malphite lane assignment going to be, right? Because the Malphite is the only one at the moment that has an easy way onto the Lux and the Ezreal. The Wukong doesn't really have much to offer here because he's so easily just juked out by the Arcane Shift.
That's right, the siege is just continuing in mid lane. This Ezreal again being very repressive with those mystic shots.
Oh, Malphite is here.
And now there's the added worry as well of having to dodge the Lux's Light Bindings and Final Spark, which is used just to shove her opponents off this turret. It is going down.
If RTZ want to make a fight happen, it should happen now, right?
Yeah, that's right. This
Malphite here in prime position
is gonna be their last chance. The Kai'Sa taking so much damage that Bubble will stop the Gragas from ending her life. True Shot Barrage will not connect either, but that means that they're gonna be conceding even more turrets. That's gonna be all the turrets in their base, and this one Nexus is what separates them from the semi-finals. And look at this, the fight has begun. Malphite there landing a pretty decent unstoppable force. Where is the damage going? It's going onto the Nami. Ezreal is, however, Arcane shifting straight into the turret. How much can this Lux do to keep him alive? He has a stopwatch as well, and he stays alive. The rest of his team are cleaning house right now, and that means the next play are moving on to the semi-finals of the FSL Wild Rift Open.
It was just very convincing games 2 and 3 there from Nexplay. What I feel was that, in the first game, they decided to play, okay, let's not try to show too much of our cards there. And the moment they lost the first game, they're like, okay, I think we need to take this a little bit seriously, play some of the compositions that we have practiced before. And they just showed, right, they just came up and played what they were confident in. They knew the limits of their competition. They definitely looked very practiced with this. and they just completely shut down RTZ.
Yep, certainly Chubby and Gia really showing up with that Ezreal and that Lux in the bot lane, as well as this Gragas in the mid lane, always being an irritant. And we saw now a successful Camille split pushing, Hellgirl doing a phenomenal job in Game 2 and Game 3 as well. I have received word that the next series is going to be Monochrome versus Dr. Hellcats. And now we're going to be going for a short break. When we come back, that's going to be the semi-final. We'll see you guys really soon.